Okay. Om Gananam Tva Ganapatim Havamahe Kavim Kavinam Upamashravasamam Jyeshtarajam Brahmanam Brahmanaspata Anashrunvannotibhis Siddhasadanam Om Shri Mahaganadhipataye Namaha Om Tadvishnoh Paramam Padam Sada Pasyanti Surayah Divi Vachakshuratatam Om Vrushbham Charshaninam Vishwarupamadabhyam Brahaspatim Varenyam Om Shlim Dhim Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Om Can everybody say Hare Rama Krishna 3 times? Om Hare Rama Krishna Om Hare Rama Krishna Om Hare Rama Krishna Om Hare Rama Krishna. Can everyone say Om Parasaraya Namah 3 times? Om Parasaraya Namah Om Parasaraya Namah Om Parasaraya Namah Om Parasaraya Namah. Okay, we are in BPHL. We are in chapter 33. We are in verse 85. Kevalecha kuje tatra jatah kuntrastra dharakah swamseva panchame swanchat chandre jau samsitau tada granthkarta bhave jatah sarva vidya visaradah tatra daitya gurau kinchidona granthakaro bhave. I think we did something like this before also. It's actually repetitive. Kevalecha kuje tatra jatah kuntrastra dharakah. If mass is alone there, then alone where? What is the context? Which house are we talking about? We are talking about the fifth house from Karaka, fourth or fifth from Karakamsa, right? The fourth or fifth house from Karakamsa, if mass is alone there, then the person will be Kevalej Kujayatra Kuntastra Dharakaha. What is Kuntastra? What is Kunta? Yeah. Right. He will be wearing a weapon like a spear. Then Swamse. Okay, actually before we go to the next one, why Mars will give spear? Yeah, basically aggression. It's basically in the case of Dhanurvidya, which is mentioned for Saturn, you are at a distance. You are not basically doing hand to hand battle. You are at a distance, and you need to have the right target. You need to be patient. So Saturn will show attacking the enemy with patience, and not necessarily hand to hand combat. Whereas Sun and Mars, being the Kshatriya planets and fiery planets, they will show more aggression. They will show more hand-to-hand battle, hand-to-hand combat. So it can be things like sword, things like spears, things like what we call in Telugu ballam. So all those things where your shield is the one with which you shield. But I don't know what this is called, the ballam, spear, right? Okay, then Kunta is spear. So spears and swords, etc. You're basically standing face to face and trying to kill the person. Whereas for Saturn, the word used was Dhanurvidya. So basically you are standing at a distance, not necessarily hand-to-hand combat. You're standing at a distance, you're focusing, and you have to have the right target. So you need to be patient. So Saturn shows the skill of patience and focus, discipline. Whereas Mars shows aggression, jumping in the middle of the enemy. The next one is Swamseva Panchame Swancha Chandre Jau Sansitau Tada. Swamseva Panchame Swanchat. Either in the Swamsha, Karakamsa, or in the fifth house from there. Chandre Jau Sansitau Tada. Chandra Ijja. If Moon and Jupiter. If Moon and Jupiter are placed in the Swamsa, Karkamsa, the fifth house from there, then what? Granthakarta bhave jataha sarva vidya visharadaha. Then the person will become Granthakarta. Means he will write books. Bhave jataha. The born person, such a born person will become Granthakarta. Sarva vidya visharadaha. He will know, he will have scholarship in all kinds of knowledge. So he will be famous, he will be very knowledgeable, and he will become a writer, a celebrated writer. Tatra daitya guru kinchidona granthakaro bhave. If Venus is there also, he will be a writer, but of a little less caliber. So Moon and Jupiter combination will make the best writer. Then is Venus. Budhe tatra tatopyona granthakarta prajayate. Tatra sukte kadirvagni kavyajnasya prajayate. If Mercury is there, then also a little less caliber, but writer. So Moon and Jupiter are the best, Venus is second, Mercury is the third. And then Tatra Shukre Kavir Vagni Kavyajnasya Prajayate. If Venus is there, he is giving one more result. In the fifth or first from Karkamsa, then he will be Kavi, poet, Vagni, eloquent, Kavyajnaha means one who is well versed in literature, who understands the style, literary style. So somebody who is very knowledgeable in literature or somebody who is a poet. Now, please note that this doesn't mean Moon and Jupiter are the Karakas for writing books. And Venus is secondary Karaka and Mercury is the tertiary Karaka. That's not true. Mercury is still the Karaka. But the issue is, they are saying, Moon and Jupiter are fifth house or first house from Karaka, so the person will be famous. So this is basically just talking about the fame. Even though the fame is mentioned from the writing, it's not necessary that it is from writing. It's basically fame. Moon and Jupiter in the fifth from Karakamsa will show somebody who is famous. And Venus will also show fame less compared to Moon and Jupiter. And Mercury will also show fame, but even less. And as far as poetry is concerned, the Karaka is Venus. If Venus is there, he will show fame probably through poetry. Because earlier he said Granthakarta. What kind of writings is not, it may be a literary kind of Grantha, or it may be an essay, it may be a realistic exposition of what is happening. You can write Granthas on various matters. It can be a spiritual Grantha, a book on how to worship God. It can be a book like, for example, Gospel of Ramakrishna. It can be a book like Kalidasa's Magazine. Right? There are different books. Magazine is a different book. Gospel of Ramakrishna is a different book. Like that, when you say, or it can be autobiography of a yogi. Like that, books are of different styles. So the thing is, based on the nature of the planets, you can guess what kind of literature the person will produce, but more importantly, the first guidance was in terms of fame, in terms of being well known. So Moon and Jupiter will make the best, will make the person most well known, then Venus, and then Mercury.
It should be combination Moon or Moon Venus or Moon Mercury.
He didn't say that, so obviously it is only Venus. Moon and Jupiter is the best, then Venus, then Mercury. The next one is Sarva Viddhanthiko Jive Navagni Satya Sabhadishu Shabdagnasya Visheshena Veda Vedanta Vittatha Sarva Viddhanthiko Jive. Jive means if Jupiter is there in the fifth house, then Sarva Viddhanthiko. He is very well, he knows everything, he has perfect understanding. Kranthikaha means he writes books or he knows about books. He is very learned in bookish knowledge as well as he has a very fine understanding. Navagni cha sabhadeshu, but he is not eloquent in assemblies of people. He is not very eloquent. Shabdagnasya visheshena veda vedanta vittatha. Shabdagnaha means he knows what are the right words to use, how to use words. He knows the theory of words. He is a good grammarian. He knows grammar, meter, and all these chapters. So he's not able to speak eloquently in the middle of a crowd, but he knows everything. So this is somebody who is very knowledgeable, but not necessarily eloquent in terms of speaking in front of people. Veda Vedanta with Katha. He knows Vedas and Vedanta. So he has very fine and deep understanding, but he is not necessarily a good communicator. So that is the thing with Jupiter. Why? Well, Jupiter is the planet of fine understanding. Now, why Jupiter doesn't show somebody who is eloquent? Not necessarily. I mean, this is, I don't think Paraja is saying this means he will not be eloquent. This means he may or may not be eloquent. Even Jupiter can give eloquence depending on the nature of Jupiter and depending on other influences on Jupiter. But the thing is, whether the person is eloquent or not, the person will be learned. He will have fine understanding. That's basically what he's saying.
Maybe the esoteric subjects that he talks might not be understand.
That is the other thing also. When you know too much, there are people who know a lot. But the thing is, when you are telling somebody, you have to be compassionate enough to understand their mindset. Unless you identify with the other person and get into the brain of the other person and have some feel for what the other person knows and how the other person thinks, you will just go on the top of the head. People won't understand what you are saying. So there are a lot of people who are extremely learned, but they don't know how to be understood by people, who don't know how to come down to the level of people so that it's palatable to them. Speak the language that they understand. So that is also possible. So that ability will be given by who? Mercury. That is why he said earlier also, Paramahamsa is born if Mercury is in the fifth from Karakamsa. Meaning, somebody who can associate with anybody and make them understand anything. Even the most complicated kind of knowledge, he can basically explain it. Thing is, bottom line is, the most complicated kind of knowledge can never be understood by reading or listening to somebody. The finest knowledge will only come if you experience. There is no other way. But the trick is, when people like Ramakrishna come, see when Ramakrishna speaks, many people say, I don't understand what he's saying. For example, I gave somebody with a Sai Baba devotee. She reads a lot of Sai Baba books. She wanted to expand her understanding. She asked me, can you suggest some other book? I said, read Ramakrishna. Then there was somebody else in the room. She said, Ramana Maharshi is very good. Read Ramana Maharshi book because that person is impressed by Ramana Maharshi. I said, yeah, you can try Ramana Maharshi. But my feeling is you will like Ramakrishna more. So she took some book by Ramana Maharshi. She read for a few days and she came back and returned. She said, I don't like this book. Because he says all is God. All is God, all is God, all is Brahman, all is Brahman. Of course it is true. But the thing is, this lady, she has the attitude of getting the choicest flowers, offering Sai Baba picture every day. She thinks that the Sai Baba picture is real. There is a real person there. She offers flowers and she takes good care of it. She is happy that way. And he's saying in one paragraph in Ramana Maharshi's book, he said, oh, you want to flowers and offer them to God? Whose flowers are you cutting? They are God's anyway. As a matter of fact, the flower is also God. And the picture is God, flower is God. What are you offering to who? These are nonsense. Like that, there was one passage. She was very offended. She is like, what do you mean flower is God? No, it is flower art. Giving it to God. This is God. So the thing is, for somebody of that nature, what Ramana Maharshi said it's not palatable. She basically can't, she's not for it. Even though what he said is the highest truth. There's no point in repeating the highest truth if you can't understand it. Whereas people like Ramakrishna, they would basically use simple parables, simple stories, simple metaphors, and he will use very rusty language. So even an idiot will understand what he's saying. But the thing is, like I was saying, the real knowledge is only experience. It is not really intellectually understood. But the thing is, people feel good when you explain some really nice concept using a simple language. People feel good about it and they feel happy. They think that they understand. So that is the thing with people with a Mercury influence. If Mercury is influencing the fifth from Karkamsa, they will be able to create that feeling in people that they understand something, even though whether they may or may not understand. Even the complicated concepts can be dumbed down so that anybody can relate to them. Whereas if it is Jupiter, he will not compromise. He will basically, it will be interesting to actually check Ramana Maharshi's chart because, if I say this, obviously Ramana Maharshi's devotees will be very unhappy with me, but he wasn't really eloquent. He was eloquent in the sense that people who are destined to understand him could understand what he said. And he said the highest truths that were told in Vaikhari ever on earth in the last few hundred years. So that way he is a great teacher, but most of the time he taught through silence. He didn't really teach using words. And secondly, many of his teachings will not be understood by common men. 95% of people in India or world, they won't understand what he's saying. His teachings are only for the 5% people. So it will be interesting to see. But he had the most perfect understanding. And he is a Vedantavit, like it is said here, Sabdagnaha, Sarvavit. So all that applies. So it will be interesting to see if Ramana Maharshi, for example, has a combination like this. So anyway, if Jupiter is there, he has fine understanding, very subtle understanding, but he may not be able to express it so that people can understand. The next one is Sabha Jado Bhave Balaha Ukta Sthanagate Shano Mimansako Bhave Nuna Mukta Sthanagate Budhe Sabha Jado Bhave Balaha Ukta Sthanagate Shano. If the fifth house from Karakamsa, if the first house or fifth house from Karakamsa contains Saturn, then the person will be Sabhajala, means one who doesn't move in the assembly, means one who basically freezes in the assembly, who can't say anything. So in other words, in the case of Jupiter, it's not like the person doesn't know anything. He says something, but he may or may not be understood by people. With Saturn, he doesn't say anything. He freezes. He's like, it's like that. So he's unable to express himself. He's very scared to express himself, or he doesn't find the right word. And that makes perfect sense, because Saturn is a very dark planet of darkness, planet of soul. So he gives patience and discipline to do sadhana. But the thing is, when you are speaking, what you need is communicating ability, not patience and discipline. So he is not really well cut for communicating. So Saturn will make a person sabhajada.
But through sadhana, he will have knowledge, but he can't.
He may have the knowledge, but the thing is, he may have discipline needed for experience. But the thing is, when it comes to impressing people, he will not be able to impress.
So the difference between Jupiter and Saturn is very fine line, because Jupiter is wisdom, he knows.
Saturn doesn't ensure perfect knowledge. Saturn only ensures that you have the discipline and austerity needed for sadhana. Whereas Jupiter ensures that you have knowledge. Whether you have discipline or not, you have knowledge. You have a very fine understanding. With Saturn, you may or may not have understanding, but you are capable of doing sadhana. See, the thing is, at the end of the day, the sadhana ensures that you become learned? Not necessarily. For somebody, Vishnu sadhana may be enough, for somebody, Vishnu sadhana may be needed. So that depends on your previous karmas. For some people, the fine understanding comes so easily. It becomes natural, second nature to them, since a young age. For some people, however much they may try, they are so deep stuck in the Maya that the perfect knowledge doesn't come to them. So, the ability to do sadhana doesn't mean understanding. But such a person will be hardworking and will do sadhana. Mimamsako bhavenno na mukta sthanagate budhe. If Mercury is there, then the person will be Mimamsaka. What is Mimamsa? Yeah, analysis. Logic and analysis. So basically Mimamsa means this happened, so this, like that, basically all analysis. So he will be a great analyst. He can do basically a lot of theory. Theoretician basically. If Mercury is there, he is a theoretician. Now he is coming to the various darshanas. So Mercury will show Mimamsa. Earlier he also said Mercury will make a person Paramahamsa. So somebody who can communicate very well. So those abilities are over. Now he is talking about various darshanas. So Mercury will give knowledge of Mimamsa, knowledge of the logic. Swamse va panchame bhaume jato nayyayiko bhavet. If Mars is there, then he is learned in Nyaya Shastra. Chandreja Sankhya Yogagnaha. If Moon is there, he does Sankhya Yoga. Sahityagnastaka Ayakaha. Also he knows literature and singing. Basically various fine arts. He is into Sankhya Yoga as well as fine arts. Ravo Vedanta Vichaiva Gita Gnistya Prajayate. If Sun is there, he is a Vedanta with. He knows Vedanta. And also Gita Gnaha. He learns singing, etc. Ketu Jagnasya Jyothishya Vicharadaha. Ketu is there, he learns mathematics and Jyothishya. Sampradayasya sansiddhir guru sambandhato bhavet. If Jupiter's influence is there, then he learns traditional knowledge. So the thing is, what this is suggesting is all these things, like we mentioned, Nyaya Shastra, Mimamsa, all these things, Sankhya, Vedanta, all these can be expanded through one's own thinking. Because these are not really rigid subjects, even though people think like that. Or stick to tradition. So Jupiter's influence will make a person traditional. There will be traditional influence on his knowledge. Stiyesha triyecha swamcha devam vicharayet bhave dukha phalam gnatva jataka phalam vadet dvitiyecha tritiyecha swamcha devam vicharayet. If the second house and third house from Karkamsa also have these influences, you can think the same way. So he is actually going all over the place. So he is saying second house, third house and fifth house from Karkamsa to see what subject the person will learn. So what does it mean? Fifth house is the house of ability, the recognition in the world. So the fifth house from Karkamsa will show Karkamsa is one sense of self. And the fifth house is the recognition. So the planet in the fifth house will influence how the person is recognized. So people may say, oh, he's a great logician, he's a great Sankhya Yogi, he's a great Vedanti, like that. So fifth house from that point of view is important. Why second and third houses? Second house is what you speak. It is the word of your speech. Also it is, and third house is the house of communicating. So if you are a Vedantavit, you will probably be talking about Vedanta in the world. On the other hand, if you are a Sankhya Yogi, you will be talking about Sankhya, how this world came into being, what came first, what led to what, you will be talking about it. If you are a Vedanti, you will be talking about the illusion, how the whole world is an illusion, how you can cut off everything saying this doesn't exist, this is not real. So the thing is, depending on what your approach is, you will speak like that and you will communicate like that. So the second and third houses are important from the point of view of what you communicate, how you communicate, and how famous are you for what you speak and what you are communicating. So apart from fifth, second and third house are important to see this. It is 11th from 5th, but the thing is, forget that. If any planet is associated with the third house, it can show communicating. And if the planet has another link with fame in the chart, fame is not necessarily from the 5th house from Karkamsa. Fame is from the 5th house from Lagna, right? So if a planet is in the 3rd from Karkamsa, it shows, Karkamsa shows the person's sense of self. This is me. His definition of this is me. So the 3rd from there is one's sense of the communicating ability of the sense of self in a person. So basically, if somebody is born with a sense that I am a communicator, I have to communicate. This is what I have to communicate. Suppose the soul is born with that sense of, for example, for all you know, when Vivekananda was born, he probably, before he was born, he took the sankalpa. His soul basically said, okay, I have to go and teach Vedanta to the whole world. Right? Similarly, when somebody is born, when Paramahansa Yogananda was born, probably his soul decided, even before birth, his soul basically clearly knew, I am here on earth, I have to communicate, I am the communicator, period. About Kriya Yoga, I have to communicate about so and so thing. So if you want to understand these things, look at those people's charts. Look at D24, D20, the learning, spiritual pursuit, and moreover D10, the work in the society. Look at those charts. See the 3rd house and 2nd house from Karkamsa. See what influences are standing out. So that will basically show, that won't necessarily show whether the person will be famous or not. It will basically show that the person will be communicator in so-and-so area. The person will be a speaker in so-and-so area. The person will have aptitude in so-and-so area, because 5th house is aptitude. Aptitude in so-and-so area. The person will have obstacles to overcome in so-and-so area, 6th house. The person will have lot of interactions in so-and-so area, 7th house. Like that. You see, basically the aspirations of the soul from AK, Atmakaraka. Not necessarily what happens on the ground. And then if a planet is in the 3rd house, he is also giving a yoga for fame from the Lagna, then the person is probably going to be a famous person. Right? Let's go to the next verse. The other line that I left out is Bhave Zukma Palam Gnatva Jadakasya Palam Vadayati. He's saying, like this see in the Bhavas, you see the subtle result and then you can tell the results of the native. So this is a subtle result. This is basically aspirations that the soul is bringing to this life. When you take the Karakamsa. But Lagna is there, that is the ground reality. You mix all those. Ketau Swamshat Keto Swamshat Vidiyeva Tritiye Sabdhavag Bhavet Papa Drishte Visheshena Mano Vaktumakshamaha. Keto Swamshat Vidiyeva Tritiye Sabdhavag Bhavet. If in the second or third house from Karakamsa, if Ketu is there, the person will become Sabdhavag, means Sabdha literally means stop speech. Means the person is unable to speak. He is unable to speak means he doesn't speak for a long time. There are some kids who don't speak until they are 6 or 7. So speech problems. Or he may be stuttering. So there will be speech problems. In the second and third from Karakamsa. Papa Drishte Visheshena Manavo Vaktumakshamaha. If a male figure is aspecting, it will be more so. It will be particularly, the problem will be so acute that you can't mention how difficult the problem will be. So basically, if a malefic is aspecting, problem is worsened. So Ketu is the main planet for speech difficulties. Forget Karakamsa. I know one person, one kid, who has Ketu in the second house. He has Simhalagna, Ketu in Kanya. And he is like 4.5 years old. He doesn't speak much. He just says Mama, Dada, like that. Just take a couple of words. He doesn't say, he can't speak. But the interesting thing is, this kid, ever since he was 2 years old, he is so much into Vedic knowledge. Whenever he hears somebody, particularly Ganapati Asarasisham, somebody reads Asarasisham or any Veda mantra, Pusuktam, Sisuktam, he usually comes and sits. With rapt attention. He loves it. But the thing is, he can't say it himself. And he can hum. He will say, suppose somebody wants chant Asarasisham, he will say, then the person says, Namaste, Ganapataye, then he will say the next one. Then the person says, Sameva, like that. He is actually leading, he is not copying. So he knows, he got the whole swara by heart. So he is saying the word in his mind, the speech in his mind, but it doesn't come out. So I know one kid like that. He knows so many Veda mantras. Even though he is only 4, he knows Veda mantras. And he knows several slokas like Namarama. He knows the tune of it, the swaram he will say, but he can't. The exact word doesn't come out of the mouth. Now the thing is, maybe when he is 7 years old, maybe at some age when he is quite old, suddenly he will get speech. Suddenly all this will come like water from flood waters basically. Suddenly he will start saying everything. So his parents are very worried. Maybe there's some speech defects, etc. But the thing is, I have seen cases like this where, forget Karakamsa, we have to actually study exactly what this Karakamsa thing means. We don't know for sure. Is it in the Trimshamsa? Probably. We have to study this, we have to do some research. But from the Lagna, if the second house is affected by Ketu, there is a strong likelihood of speech-related problems. Because people have either speak very late or they stutter. Yes.
I have seen some examples also, with Ketu being in
Second? Yeah.
Either light speakers or like that.
But the thing is, once they start speaking, they speak very clearly.
Sputavagdata.
Like it says in the Ketu Hastata, they speak very clearly. But the thing is, there is a lot of delay. There is deprival in the beginning, and once they start speaking, they speak very well. So that is the problem with Ketu. Ketu is a denier. He gives moksha wherever he is. Whatever area of whichever chart he is really occupying, he will try to deprive the person of that. So
it should be more applicable with the Rasi, right? Because it is a speech that physically
speech is a physical thing, so it is more applicable in the Rashi. The example that I mentioned was Ketu in the second house in the Rashi chart. And unfortunately, I believe, actually, no, that's not true. Anyway, Antardasha was Ketu in Nirvana or something like that. Anyway, in your cases also you are talking about Rahisha, right? Yeah. But the thing is, when he talked about, we'll stop here, we'll continue in the next class, Parachara. When he says second house from Karakamsha, which Karakamsha is he talking about? Navamsha or Punchamsha? It is not clear. So if you take the charts of people who have speech problems, take a few charts. Take the Trinshamsha, take the Navamsha, see the influences on the second and third from Karakamsha, then you will know what he's talking about. So bottom line is, some research is needed. Okay, so I'll restart the recording, we'll take an example. You guys decide which one you want to see. Okay, give me the data.
July 26th.
July 26,
1951.
1951,
9:35 p.m.
9:35
p.m.
p.m.
Mail,
Yeah,
Visakhapatnam.
yeah,
Sensei
yes,
Shastri.
Shastri Garu. Oh, Lagna. Nice. Okay. Very powerful, Rahu, very powerful Jupiter. And how close is Saturn to Jupiter? Saturn is at 5 degrees. Saturn has very close aspect on Lagna. Saturn is closer to the Lagna longitude than Jupiter. So there is a strong Saturn. Even though there is a mixed influence of Jupiter and Saturn. And partial Brahma Yoga. Okay. So what do we want to see? Okay, I'll repeat the data for people who are listening to the audio. July 26, 1951, 9:35 p.m. Indian Standard Time, 5 hours 30 minutes east of GMT. The place is Visakhapatnam, India. Visakhapatnam, also known as Vizag. Vizag. Visakhapatnam, India. 83 degrees, 18. So, what do we know about this person? What do we want to see about this person?
The question is related to his
Health. Okay.
He has a problem in his legs, near the Prushtavaga.
Leg.
Near the Prushtavaga.
Hip. Okay.
And he has some serious problems with his eyes.
Hip problem and serious eye problems. Yeah.
He's still working and he works as a bank employee.
Oh,
He's
still
been
okay.
working since last 30 years, 27 years, 30 years.
Bank employee since 27 years.
Yeah, from
Okay.
1970s.
Okay. From 1970s he works as a bank employee. So for the last 27 years also he's been working as a bank employee. He has some serious eye problems and he has a problem in his hips.
He's not able to walk properly.
Unable to walk properly. Oh, that's serious.
He has a standard. He's actually my father.
Okay. Okay. Okay, that's it. So we want to see about health.
That is the
Okay, very good.
he's been operated thrice on his eyes. And
Operated
3 times for his
3 times on ice. He was operated 3 times on ice. Okay, very good. So let's see. Because this is relating to health, mostly Rasi will suffice. We'll consider Trinshamsa and Shasthamsa, but Rasi will suffice. So we don't really have to do the rectification also. We don't need events, etc. Because this is Lagna. Actually, how much delay do we have? 13 minutes 55 seconds earlier Lagna will change. So 14 minutes of leeway we have. So it should be accurate. It should be after more than 40 minutes, right? So we'll just accept it and we'll casually consult Sinshamsha, but we will basically go by Rashi chart. Okay. So what Dasha is he running? Basically, what kind of a person is he, do you think? What is the basic personality?
The spiritual person. Because
Lagna has Jupiter in it and Saturn is aspecting Lagna. Saturn-Jupiter association on Lagna is Brahma Yoga. Though there is a big distance between them, so it's not complete. There is a partial Brahma Yoga. And Hamsa Yoga is there, Jupiter in Lagna, in own sign. So basically a dharmic person, spiritual person, and what else?
Rahu in 12.
Hmm?
Rahu in 12.
Rahu in 12th Lord in the 12th house, is that good for spirituality?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Vimala Yoga.
Vimala Yoga, 12th house is the house of spirituality, moksha, of letting things go. And 12th Lord in the 12th house is a blessing. So he's a good person, basically a good person. Can he be a lazy person? Saturn influence on Lagna and in general Veena people, they can be either contented or lazy. Basically, Kapha person, bottom line is, Lagna is Pisces and Jupiter is the Lagna Lord, he is in Lagna. So there is a strong Kapha influence. So the body type is basically Kapha, and Kapha people tend to be on the positive side very contented, relaxed, happy, optimistic. That is the nature of Kapha people on the positive side. And there is a lot of earth in you, earth and water inside you. You are either like that or on the negative side it's going to be lazy, not really moving. So it's a mixture of basically, but somebody unlikely to be very charged up and fighting around, not that kind of person. Very either laid back or happy and relaxed. So that is the basic personality. And Lagna has Katri from Moon and Rahu, that is good. Is Mars in the 4th house good or bad? Mars is in the 4th house, is it good or bad? Mars in the 4th house, is it good or bad? He is a functional benefit. He is a functional benefit, but he is also a natural benefit. So he is in the 4th house. So as far as 4th house Sukha is concerned, it can show some 9th is fortune. So he will show some fortune from the point of view of ownership. So he gives, being the 9th Lord, he gives fortune. And being in the 4th house of Sukha, he will make him fortunate with Sukha. He will give him a lot of maybe land or luxuries, nice vehicle, etc. But being a natural malefic, by nature, he won't be happy. So in general, not somebody who can be easily happy, even though he will have things, somebody who's not very happy. Now, the other thing is,
slightly contradicting between that and the Lagna with Jupiter being content.
right, it is contradicting. So how do we reconcile? Mars in the 4th house will give Sokhalopa. Some kind of Sokhalopa he will give. Jupiter in Lagna will make him somebody who is easily contented. So how do we reconcile both? Both have to be true. Firstly, based on the dashas, one thing can dominate over the other. And the second thing is, apart from the dashas, in general, you may be somebody who wants to be happy in general, who wants to be easy going. But at the same time, Mars is the planet of drive. So when it comes to Sukha, when it comes to comfort and peace, a planet whose agenda is to be aggressive and pursue things, active pursuit of things, he is in that house. So he tends to be laid back and tends to be contented. But when it comes to luxuries, maybe I want this kind of car or maybe I need this kind of TV, that kind of attitude can be given by Mars who's in the 4th house. So that can give some kind of unhappiness.
So 4th house matters, he could be unhappy, but
4th house, when it comes to 4th house matters, there may be some dissatisfaction. But in general, Lagna having Jupiter, he is basically a happy person. Now, what Dasha is running? By the way, who is aspecting Lagna? Can I get rid of this Toshiba? No, I can't. Okay, that's okay.
you have this.
Huh?
Yeah, Mars is one.
Do you want me to project? Or we are all set, right?
You're all set.
Okay, that's good.
Mouse? You have a mouse?
Oh, actually not mouse. What I was thinking is, a big percentage of the screen is taken by this Toshiba icon. Can I get rid of these icons? Yeah. All this screen there. Oh, I see. I can just move it somewhere else. I can't
I
get
think
that.
you should, no, you get rid of it. I don't know.
Okay, that's okay. Oh, there is a cross. Because I didn't have the mouse, I didn't get the... Okay. Okay, thanks. Huh? I just... Actually, can you guess what is the Ayurvedic constitution? Because before we see what is the health problem, it is a good idea to know what is the Ayurvedic constitution of the person. So, Mean Lagna shows Kapha. Jupiter in Lagna shows Kapha. But Jupiter is away from Lagna. But he is Lagna Lord. So, Kapha. What is the other influence? Who are affecting Lagna mostly? If you look at aspects, the biggest is Saturn, 97% aspect. Saturn has 97% aspect. Very powerful aspect. That shows Vata, dryness. The other one is Venus having 87% aspect. That is also big. 87.9% aspect. Again Kapha. Okay. Go to the... You haven't come to the class in a long time and also you haven't used Jagvara in a long time. Probably you didn't even download 7.4. Very good. If you have 7.4 you can see. Got it? So Venus has 87.9% aspect on Lagna, right? Did you get stage 2?
Yeah.
Okay. So Venus has very powerful aspect. The other one is Mercury has 76% aspect. So if you look at all above 3/4 aspects, these are Mercury 76, Venus 88, Saturn 98. So Saturn shows Vata, Venus shows Kapha. What does Mercury show? He is mixed. So let's ignore Mercury because he is only 76. So Venus is dominating. So Venus will add to Jupiter. Both are Kapha. So bottom line is my take is 80% Kapha or 75% Kapha and 25% Vata. So he is a Kapha Vata person. So Kapha Vata people, they tend to be, Vata people are very thin and emaciated. Kapha people are very fat. So Kapha Vata people tend to be the medium build, medium, not too fat but not very thin also. Basically fat and tend to put up weight very easily and have a cool body and they need to eat, eat lot of spice. Spice is good for them. Spicy food is good. They need that fire. There isn't enough fire in the body. Fire is very low. Metabolism is very weak. Fire is very low. So they need to eat spicy food. Now, what is the dasha he is running? Oh, he is running Jupiter dasha and he is having problems. That is strange. Okay, let us see. Actually, that is strange. Yeah, Rashi is rectified, let us say. Navamsha Lagna is not anywhere close. So even if we rectify a special dasha like Satabhi dasha won't apply. So let us stick to Vimshatri. Vimshatri dasha Brahmo. So Jupiter dasha started. So you are saying that health problems started after Jupiter dasha started?
To the side end of Rahu and then Jupiter started.
Okay.
And they have been, it's a good thing that they are surfacing and until then we never, it was so sudden that he was diagnosed with glaucoma that his eyes were about to go and when it was actually key for us to know that he had that kind of
Okay.
So in one way all of them coming up were good.
Okay. Very good. Now, let us not say that, oh, something is wrong, Samudra Dasha applies, let's use Satatri Dasha, actually none of them apply. Vimshatri is the one. Now, can you explain why this is happening? Why Jupiter is giving so much problem, health problems? Why Jupiter is giving health problems? Jupiter is the Lagna Lord in Lagna. He should take care of the body. He should be beneficial to the body. Why is he giving problems? Where do you see problems to the health from? What is the chart Parashar recommended? Parashar didn't recommend Shashtamsa. That is what we use. Parashar never talked about Shashtamsa. Yes. Look at D30. Parashar said the suffering from previous sins is seen from D30. All the health problems, serious suffering is seen from D30. In the D30 chart, Lagna is Taurus. He is a sign owned by Venus. And Jupiter is an enemy of the Lagna Lord and he is the 8th lord and 11th lord. He is a functional namesake. He is a papi. So in the chart of health problems, he is a papi. And he is debilitated. And he is with Mandi. Right? So, based on these things, can Jupiter give health problems? Of course he can. Being the 8th lord in the Trinsamsa will give suffering from all the previous things. So, in the Jupiter, as soon as Jupiter has some problems coming in, it makes sense. Based on the Trinsamsa. Now let's look at Shashtamsa. Shashtamsa is physically suffering. The physical suffering is Shashtamsa. Shashtamsa is, again, Lagna is Libra, again a sign owned by Venus. Jupiter is an enemy and he is the 6th lord and 3rd lord. Again, functional male. He is a papi. So he is a papi in D6 as well as D30. So, that is the reason why, despite Jupiter are running, he is suffering from health problems. But, being the Lagna lord of Rashi chart, what it means is he will basically, Lagna lord will cure. So he will actually cure the otherwise he will be getting treatment. It's not like something bad will happen to him. He will basically die or something like that. That's not possible. In the Jupiter Dasha, he will be dead. So being a Lagna lord, he takes care of the body and he is making progress towards curing. But looking at the D6 and D30, the person is basically suffering. Now, what is the Antardasha running right now? Now, by the way, even before we continue further, as far as propitiation is concerned, Jupiter is the one to propitiate because he is the one showing problems in D30 as well as D6 and he is the one whose Dasha is running right now. So, Jupiter needs to be propitiated. Exactly how we'll come to that.
In D6, the 10th house is very important.
Mm-hmm.
So people because I vision issues
Yes. 10th house is the house of problems in vision. So in D6, if you look at 10th house, it has Venus, Moon, Rahu, Ketu. They are all affected there. And the other thing is, 10th house shows vision related problems. Not problems, this is vision. 10th house shows the strength of vision. And afflictions there will show problems in the vision. Who is the Karaka for vision? No, Venus is the Karaka for eyes. Physical eyes. How beautiful the eyes are, how big the eyes are, how small the eyes are, that is correct. The vision is sun. So, second house is physical eyes. And the 10th house is vision. Similarly, Venus is physical eyes and sun is the vision. And if you look at D6, the chart of health problems, sun is afflicted by Saturn. So, both the Karaka of vision is afflicted and the house of vision is also affected. And the lord of the house of the vision, Moon, is eclipsed by Rahu and Ketu. So, that is the other thing. So, there is a possibility of problems with respect to vision. Now Jupiter.
problems must have started in Jupiter Ketu.
Problems must have started in?
Jupiter Ketu.
Why?
Because Ketu is the second one.
Ketu is the second lord.
He is affecting the 10th house.
Right. But it's not just Ketu. Even Rahu is affecting the 10th house.
Ketu Antardasha was running when he had the problem.
That is possible. Ketu can give it, Rahu can also give it. Even Jupiter himself, Jupiter can also give. Because Jupiter is the 6th lord, right? And if you look from the 10th house of vision, he is the 6th lord in the 8th house. Maraka basically. Of course you can say, like I said a few times earlier also, there is nothing called Vipet Rajoga. Even though 6th lord in the 8th may be considered Vipet Rajoga, that is not in the matter of health. When it comes to D6, there is no Vipet Rajoga. It is basically two Dusthanas coming together. It basically worsens the result. So, from the house of vision, 10th house, Jupiter is the 6th lord in 8th house, showing serious problems in vision. He is the 9th lord also, but he is in the 8th house. 9th lord in the 8th house shows withdrawal of the protection. And 6th lord in the 8th house shows the fighting basically being intensified and having to fight harder. So, Jupiter himself is a bad planet as far as the vision is concerned. And why I said Ketu is also a bad planet, but why I say Rahu is He's the 8th Lord in Lagna from the house of vision. Right? Of course, both Rahu and Ketu are enemies of moon. So both of them are ill-placed there. Neither of them is good. They both spoil 10th house and 10th Lord. But Rahu is even worse. Of course, Rahu and Antardasha hasn't come yet. So Jupiter Rahu can be even worse. Anyway, so now what Antardasha is running right now? Ketu. But soon Venus will start. Okay? Now why hip problem? Why is the problem in the hips? Why does he have the hip problem now?
Is it muscles or nerve or what is it? Dislocated bone.
Dislocated bone.
It's like crack in the hip. It cannot really be
Cured. I see. So what do you think is the reason for it? Where do you see the hips? Which house will show hips? Huh? Very good. 8th house. 8th house. 9th house is thighs. 10th house is knees. So first house is the top of the head. And the second house is face. Third house is neck and the upper portion of the chest. And fourth house is the chest, heart, etc. And the fifth house is stomach. Sixth house is lower stomach, liver, some of the internal parts in the stomach. So fifth and sixth are basically stomach. Sixth is lower stomach. And seventh house is kidney. And eighth house is the genitals, ass, etc. Basically all the portion in the vicinity. So hips are also eighth house. Ninth house is thighs. 10th house is knees. 11th house is calves and ankles. And the 12th house is feet. So this is how the body is divided, and various houses are shown by, various parts of the body are shown by various houses. So 8th house will show hips. Any problem in the hips will be shown by 8th house. So is there a chance of problem with the hips in this chart? 8th Lord Venus is affected. That is one thing. 8th Lord Venus is affected by Badaka Lord Mercury and Ketu. Right? Is that the only thing? He is in Manakarka Sthana. So 8th Lord Venus is in Manakarka Sthana. So some problem with the hips. Either we can't say hips specifically, either hips or genitals or ass. In that portion there is a problem. That is what you can say. Now, if you look in the Trimshyamsha, how is the 8th house there? Well, it has Rahu and Ketu and its Lord Jupiter. His dasha is running right now. So hip related problem is possible. And secondly, some problem in the bones happened. Right? You said there is a crack in the bone. There cannot be a problem in the bones without solar affliction. Sun is the karaka for bones. So in the Trimshyamsha, Sun has to be afflicted. And is he afflicted? Yeah, Sun is badly afflicted. Sun is afflicted by Saturn in the Trimshyamsha chart. So affliction of Sun by Saturn in the Trimshyamsha, it can show a problem with the bones. So combining all these things, it makes sense that during this time he has some problem with the hips. So what is the solution? Who can he worship? Which god can he worship? Which propitiation can he do? Tell me. Should he worship Jupiter or Sun or Rahu? What is the best worship to do? Shiva, okay. Okay, Jupiter, we all agree that worshipping Jupiter is the best because his dasha is running and he is the main troublemaker. And even though there are other things like Sun is affected by Saturn, the bottom line is Jupiter dasha is the main problem. All other factors show the potential. By the way, how is the next Antardasha? Right now Ketu Antardasha is running. Ketu is in the Rashi chart, Ketu is the 9th Lord in the 6th house. Not great. But Look at the next under the side. It is what? Venus. He is the 8th Lord. First of all, he is an enemy of Lagna Lord. Jupiter Dasha is running. He is the enemy of Dasha Lord as well as Lagna Lord. So he won't give auspicious results. When an under Dasha that is inimical to the Dasha comes, it will give inauspicious results. And secondly, he is the 8th Lord in the 6th house. So it's not really good for health. How is he in the Trimshamsa? That is the consolation. As far as Trimshamsa is concerned, he is not really showing great suffering. He is the Lagna Lord in the 2nd house. So he is not really showing, when it comes to struggling with the punishment for your sins, Jupiter is showing struggle with the punishment. Venus is not really showing that. At the physical level, Venus is showing, being the 8th Lord in the 6th house, he is either showing problems or it is also Vikrita Rajoga. So the thing is, my feeling is in the Venus Dasha, things are boiling point, but some solution may be found. Some relief may be found in the Venus Antardasha. In the Shashtamsa, right. In the Shashtamsa, he is Tula Lagna, he is the Lagna in the 10th house. So, as far as the problem with the history is concerned, there is a chance of some relief in the Venus Antardasha. But the best thing to do is propitiate Jupiter. But the bottom line is, because the Mahadasha is a really bad Mahadasha from the health point of view, the relief may not be really full relief. It will be really some relief, but I don't think that suddenly he will start walking perfectly or anything like that. So, to maximize the chance of recovery, to maximize the level of recovery, the best thing to do would be worship Jupiter. And instead of worship Sadashiva, what I would suggest is, Sadashiva is a very auspicious, very sattvic form. And the problem we have here is, look at Trimshamsa. Jupiter owns Sagittarius, which contains Rahu Ketu. He is the dispositor of Rahu Ketu. And he is in a debilitated. He is in Capricorn, a tamasic sign. So there is a lot of tamasic influence in the Trimshamsa on Jupiter. So you need some fierce energy to counter that tamasic energy. So instead of worshipping Sadashiva, you need some other form of Lord. Jupiter is Shiva, so some other form of Shiva. So for example, Mrityunjaya mantra is a good idea, Rudram can be done, Mrityunjaya mantra can be done. Mrityunjaya mantra is a good idea. And the thing is, that will address Sana also then. The Sun-Saturn combination will go. So Mrityunjaya mantra is a good idea. And one thing given in Shastras for physical problems, health problems and physical problems is doing a homam with the Trambaka Medamahe mantra and making offerings of Darbha, the sacred glass. So sacred glass, dip it in paisam, make paisam, basically milk pudding, milk and rice pudding. Dip the sacred glass in paisam and offer it. That is the main offering, instead of any other things. So making offerings of that and doing a homam on a regular basis with the Trambaka Medamahe mantra, that is recommended for relief from the health problems. Another thing that is very good is Guru Kavacham, Brahaspati Kavacham. If you find any Navagraha Stotram books in India, in AP, that book is very easily available. It gives the mantram, Kavacham, Stotram of all planets. So you can find the Guru Kavacham there, Brahaspati Kavacham. So reading the Brahaspati Kavacham is a good idea. So chanting Brahaspati Kavacham regularly and Mrityunjaya mantra, especially with the Darbha, Payasa Sikta Darbha as the Ahuti. That is a very good idea. No, you can offer ghee also, but the thing is you make some offerings of the Darbha. Can't make the whole home with Darbha. You may not have those many Darbhas, but make a few token offerings with the Darbha, and rest you can give ghee, black sesame seeds, white sesame seeds, etc.
Cannot even sit down properly.
Can you sit, not with the legs crossed, but can you sit on a chair? That you can do, right? Yeah. You don't have to do sadhana, to do worship. You don't have to sit with your eyes, with your legs crossed, especially if it is a problem. You can sit on a chair normally and then do also. Suppose somebody is doing home sitting on a chair, then the only request is make sure the homakunda is at a height higher than you. So if you are sitting in a chair, put a table in front of you that is slightly taller, and then put the homakunda on top of it. Then it's fine. The main thing is people emphasize sitting cross-legged. Not everybody can do it today, unfortunately. And if you have to stop sadhana because you can't sit cross-legged, that is kind of like, I don't have a silver plate to eat my lunch in. I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to eat in this copper plate or steel plate. I'm going to remain hungry. I won't eat. It's kind of like that. This is not the most important point. The most important point is from the back should be straight when you do sadhana. That is the most important point. Even to meditate, forget homam, even to meditate, if somebody sits in a chair and sits still with the back straight and the head straight and neck straight and eyes closed, that is good enough. How the legs are is secondary. It's not a main point. Any other point you guys want to add? I just want to quickly check one thing. Okay. Any other points you guys want to make? Anything else? See, this is a good example where a planet is auspicious for Luna in the Rashi chart, but very inauspicious, extremely inauspicious in the Tinsamsa. See, during the Dasha, the person is suffering. So, this is a good example of that. Just because a planet is Lagna Lord, doesn't necessarily mean that, but the thing is, instead of problem being hidden, the problem may come out so that it can be cured, doctors can be working on it. So that is what it means. And I just want to show you, I just want to check a couple of things. Just for information, Saturn Dasha is a Mark Dasha. Jupiter, there is no chance Jupiter can kill the person. Jupiter Dasha is a safe Dasha as far as longevity is concerned. But Saturn and Mercury, the next two Dashas are inauspicious Dashas. Saturn is in the 7th house. If a male freak is in the 7th house, he becomes a Marka. So Saturn is a Marka for this chart, right? So then after 2018 until 2037, that is a critical period. For example, Saturn Mercury Antardasha is a very critical Antardasha because Saturn is in the 7th house and Mercury is the 7th lord. But the bottom line is until 2018 he is safe. Despite suffering, he will basically live. Any other point, anybody, any questions or any other point you want to make? What? Yeah, Libra rises there. Do we know it is accurate? 18 seconds later Lagna will change, so we don't know if it is accurate, so we can't really use it. He wanted to see Vinchamsa, to see the spiritual life of the person, but the thing is Lagna is Tula, it will become, from Tula it will become Vrishtika in 18 seconds, so that's hardly enough leeway. So we don't know if Lagna is Libra or Scorpio, so we can't really see this Vinchamsa. But of course, if you want to see spiritual life, you can see Drugdasha in the Rashi chart, right? If you see Drugdasha Rashi chart, right now he is running Vargodasha. How is Vargodasha? In Vargodasha, you take the 5th from there. In Vargodasha, Ketukan becomes a Lagna, progress Lagna, right? So progress Lagna, Ketukan. Taking Ketukan as Lagna, Venus, Mercury, Ketu are in the 8th house. Basically, 8th Lord is in the 7th house, Sun. And 8th house contains these 3 planets. So it is good for spiritual sadhana and experiences. So the current time, despite the physical suffering, this time of 2007 to 2016, this is good for spiritual sadhana. This is a good time. Pardon me? And one more thing I want to say. Jupiter is a Lagna Lord in Lagna. So, any cure of this problem, how will it come from? Will it come from modern medicine? Unlikely. It will come through Ayurveda or some traditional medicine. So for this kind of chart, especially in Jupiter Dasha, there is no point in going to doctors and all that. So there are some people, especially in Kerala, some of this knowledge is actually still alive, some of the sophisticated Ayurvedic knowledge. So consulting somebody in Kerala about improving the condition of the bone in the hip is not a bad idea. There is a chance. See, Venus may not be conducive. Jupiter, Venus, Antardasha may or may not be helpful, even though he is giving Viparita Rajoga. But if you look at Sun is more conducive. Why do I say that? Sun is in the 5th house of Gaurapunya in the Rashi chart, and Sun is the 6th lord of fighting, overcoming obstacles and fighting. And he is a friend of the Lagna Lord Jupiter. Unlike Venus, Sun is a friend of Lagna Lord Venus. So, he shows fighting to improve the person, to improve the health of the person. So, Jupiter, Venus, Jupiter, Ketu, I am not really positive. I am not sure there will be much improvement. But Jupiter, Sun, there is a chance of improvement. So, during that time, some kind of traditional remedies. See, serious bone problems also, some Ayurvedic remedies do exist, which takes some time, but there are some people who are skillful in South India. So it's a good, but one thing I can say, if at all this person is cured, it will be through traditional medicine. It will not be through modern medicine. Or through Mantra sadhana. Because it's Jupiter. Jupiter is so tradition. He is so tradition. So he has to go back to tradition. That's the thing.
For his eyes, there is no...
Eyes, what do you guys think? Is there a possible relief for eyes? What do you think about the eyes? See, the affliction on the 10th house in the D6 is so bad, right? And the Sun, Karaka is also afflicted. Let's see one more thing. If it is D30, in the D30 also, if you take the 10th house of vision, the 10th Lord is in the, if you take the 10th house as Lagna to see vision, Lagna Lord is in 8th and 8th Lord is in Lagna. Lagna Lord is in the 8th house with the 7th Lord, with enemy, and the 8th Lord is in Lagna. It is very, very terrible, right? It is not really conducive at all. And the Jupiter that is running right now, he is a Maraka. He is the second Lord. So my feeling is, looking at all these things, eyes, I am not sure if there can be any relief from that. Eyes may be something that he has to live with. But so the chance of relief with respect to eyes is very small, but with respect to the head, there is a chance. Any other comments?
From 10th house, Jupiter is 12th.
From 10th house?
No, from 10th house of Vijay and Division. Jupiter is 12th.
Yeah, he is in 12th, right? Right. That is basically loss of vision. He is in the house of, he is a Maraka and he is in the house of loss of vision. So the outlook for improvement in the vision, having perfect vision again is difficult. Any other questions, any other comments?
See, where is an emerald on his right hand, ring finger.
I see.
That his, and that my
Who told him that?
my grandfather
I
gave
see.
it to him as an.
I see, I see.
He's been wearing that since I know him.
I see.
Is that any?
It's not a grey stone. He is the seventh lord Maraka in the sixth house of sickness. So it's not a grey stone, especially after a datta that gives you sickness has already triggered and you are experiencing sickness. Why do you want to wear the stone of a planet who is in the sixth house of sickness? It's not really great. If he wants to wear a stone, what will be a good stone for him? What will be a good stone in you? Pushyarag. But the Pokhara, the Pushyarag thing, he is Lagna Lord in Rashi. But his data is running and he is giving so many problems. In D30, D6, he has a very terrible agenda to give serious suffering for the sins done in the past life. That is what Jupiter is doing right now. So, huh?
We all look for a healer who.
Yeah. So what do you, what else can we want? Tell me. Pearl? Well, he is the lord of the house of Purvapundya in the Rashi chart. So that is good. And he is in the second house. And D6, he is the 10th lord in the 10th house, trying to fight for wisdom. Right? And even from the point of view of his, he is the third lord in third from the 8th house. And in D30, he is the third lord, he is okay. He doesn't have anything really bad. He is the third lord with the 7th lord and the Lagna lord. And he has, after the 8th house of Vikamsan, he is the 7th lord in the 8th house. He is the 8th lord in the 7th house. So, he is not that good. What about Mars? He is the 9th lord in the Rashi chart. So, he is basically the fortune, the bhagya, right? The protection from God. In the Shashtamsya, he is the, obviously in Shashtamsya 36, he is the 2nd and 7th lord Maraka, but he is not in the Shashtamsya 6th and 8th, he is not like Badhaka lord, or 6th lord, or 8th lord or anything. And he is in the Badhaka sthana, but he is okay, he is not really that terrible. And in the Trinshamsya chart, he is the 7th lord in the 2nd house, he is a Maraka, so that's bad. He is Maraka, but he is not showing any problems with respect to the health. And especially from the point of view of 6th and the 8th house, he is the 5th lord in the 7th house. So he is okay. So if at all anybody see, in this chart, given the complications, there is no point in wearing gemstones. If you must wear a gemstone, and moreover from moon, he is in Bharani. So Venus, sun, moon, Mars. He is Shamatara lord. So being the Shamatara lord, and being the lord of the 9th house of protection and fortune and protection from gods in the Rashi chart, and being okay in the Trinshamsa, Shashtamsa, etc., red coral is a good idea.
But that's not doing any significant thing in this chart.
Well, it's a protection. In the Rashi chart is giving protection. So, general protection from gods. Basically, your blessings are being invoked. The blessings from the past life, you are invoking them. You are using them more basically. Bottom line is, what does the gemstone do? You have so many blessings from the past life. Some are going to be experienced in this life. Some are waiting in the bank, so that in the next life you will get. God won't send you to current life with all the blessings that you have had to. Only some will be earmarked for this year, this life. Rest will be for a next life. So there are some in the pipeline. So you are basically putting a petition so that bank can release some more funds. But the thing is, this can be a problem for your next life. May or may not be the best thing to do. So that's basically what is happening. When you use the 9th lord, that's basically what you are doing. So that can give some relief. So red coral is something that I suggest if at all you must wear a gemstone. Otherwise, don't wear a gemstone, just worship.
My question.
Yeah.
Can I do something?
Yeah, you can do something.
To alleviate his.
Yeah. Whatever I said he can do, like Guru Kavacham, he can do in his name. Vidya Sankalpa. Yeah. You can do with a view to your father basically improve it. See, I was telling you guys, I told you many times, instead of getting things done through a priest, you do it yourself, right? This has been a constant theme with me, because I said priests won't be able to identify so much with your problem as you yourself can. And even if they identify, they can't really generate the Shakti and transfer it to you. It's not very easy to do something for somebody else. In these days, it is so difficult to even give a physical object to somebody else. If I have a computer and somebody says, I don't have a computer, can you give me? I'll feel like, no, I need this computer, I can't give. So even stupid material things you can't give people so easily. So what the Shakti that you accumulate through sadhana is very difficult to give to somebody else. So I keep saying, so just before this conference that I went to, I discovered somebody gifted me Parasara Madhyam long time back. I never read it. So just recently I opened a page, and guess what? The page I opened, he was discussing about homam, the importance of doing sadhana by oneself. So this Parasara, the same Parasara Maharshi, Vedavyasa's father, whose books we read for astrology, he wrote a Dharmasastra, he wrote a Smriti. So he laid out rules for Kali Yuga. What are the rules people have to follow in rituals, etc. So in those rules, and by the way, there is one dictum that says, Manusmriti is for Krita Yuga, Gautam Smriti is for Treta Yuga. Like that, there is a different Smriti that is authority for each Yuga. And for Kali Yuga, the Smriti mentioned is Parashara Smriti. So Madhvacharya, who is Vidyaranya, who is basically around the time of Sri Krishnadevaraya, before Sri Krishnadevaraya, he is a great Vedic scholar. He and his brother, they wrote commentaries on various Dhammasastras, Vedas, Puranas, etc., Vedangas, etc. So he wrote a book called Parasara Madhyam, distilling the essence of Parasara Smriti. So there is a very clear dictum which says, compared to a homam or any other ritual being done by a priest in your name, if your own Shishya does it, it is 100 times more powerful, because your Shishya identifies with you more. Then, that is, I am saying it, he didn't say that, but he said, Shishya doing is 100 times more powerful. And compared to a Shishya doing in your name, if your own son does it, it is 100 times even more powerful. And compared to your own son doing it, you yourself do it, it is 100 times even more powerful. So basically he said, compared to a priest, you do it yourself, million times more powerful. And the thing is, this Dharmasastra was compiled for Kali Yuga. And the thing is, in Kali Yuga, in the old days you had priests who would just sit, meditate, and then generate energy just like that because of their purity, and then transfer it to a person and destroy the sin of the person just with one puja, then go. You don't have that kind of priest anymore. Period. You don't. Maybe one or two here and there, but you can't bank on accessing such a priest. And even if you actually find a priest like that, you will see that such priests are so few, and people who are looking for relief are so big, and the kind of problems people are in are so big. The kind of sins people do are much bigger than in the old days. So even if there are a few good sadhakas here and there, they know that they are not capable of destroying the sins of everybody. So they will not really venture to solve the problems of people. They will just remain aloof, they will remain in their corners. They will teach people how to do things, how to do sadhana rather than relieving the problems of people. Because then all your sadhana will easily be exhausted. You won't really be able to help many people. There is so much problem in the world and so little dharma. So anyway, so recognizing this, it is interesting that Parasara at the end of Dwapara Yuga gave a statement that people are better off doing their own. This is basically which has been what Vimalananda said, which has been what Manish said, which has been what I've been saying all these years. It is interesting to find a reference from Parasara. So anyway, so what I was saying is, if your father does, it is better, but if you do, it is better than somebody else do. So it is you can definitely do in your father's name. Just have the sincerity, feel that your father should be helped. The thing is, all of we are indebted to our parents. Basically, they created us. Without parents, we don't exist. So there is a runa to father. So if you do something for your father, it will help you pay back that runa. Is that good? Any other questions, comments?
One more thought.
Yes, you can ask.
Something very quick.
Yeah. We will not give any logic, we will just give a reading kind of thing. Tell me the data.
Thank you, sir.
Data is, it don't know which chart to look at. Either my chart or my brother's chart.
You decide which chart to look at and tell me.
No, that's the solution I'm asking you.
Okay, what is the problem?
My mother is seriously ill in the hospital from yesterday.
Yeah.
She is recovering, but from my chart I see that my G12, the moon and the fourth house are affected badly with Rahu Ketu.
We'll see your chart. Forget about your brother because we already worked on your chart so much. We'll use your chart, we'll make a prashna. I make a prashna right now, 8:32. 8:32 p.m. Dracut Mass. August 16, 2010, 8:32 p.m. Dracut Massachusetts. 71 degrees, 18 minutes, 9 seconds west. 42 degrees, 40 minutes, 13 seconds north. Time zone is Eastern Daylight Saving Time. 4 hours west of GMT. I'll save this. Prashna on your mother's health, right? Seshu's mother's health, right? She's hospitalized?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sunday and she might come home Wednesday.
Okay.
But from that I see that she has bad affliction from September 5th. So my question is if I should be planning a trip to India by...
I see. We'll see that. We'll open your chart. Hopefully your chart will be here. Quickly Prashna. So Lagna is Aquarius. Lagna is Aquarius. Right? And yeah, whose Jupiter is in the first house. So that is good. So that means the Prashna has potential to be answered. If Jupiter is influencing Lagna, basically God is willing to give an answer to an astrologer. Otherwise, we should not look at the Prashna further. So that is there. And if you look at the Lagna Lord, there is Lagna Lord place. He is in the 7th house. And 7th house contains right? So, Venus, Mars and Saturn. So, Lagna Lord is with Venus and Mars. Lagna Lord is with Venus and Mars. So, Venus is the 4th Lord. Right? So, Lagna Lord is with Venus and he is with the... Venus is 4th Lord from Lagna. So, he shows mother. And Mars is a Mata from 4th house. Taking 4th house as Lagna. I am just looking at Dasi. Taking 4th house as Lagna, Mars is the 7th and 12th Lord. So, Mars is in general the Karaka for health problems, etc. Saturn and Mars, these are the Karakas. Sudden problems are shown by Mars. And he is Maraka, moreover he is the 12th Lord of hospitalization. So, 4th Lord of mother, the 3rd Lord of mother's hospitalization, they are with Lagna Lord. So, the native is thinking about mother and her hospitalization. Right? Second thing is, Lagna Lord, Saturn is with the 9th Lord, Venus. Right? And in the 7th house. 7th house is a long journey. 7th house. Lagna Lord is in the 7th house with bunch of planets. That is long journey. And he is with Venus. Venus is not only 4th Lord of mother, he is the 9th Lord of again a long journey. So the question is relating to going to a long journey. Should I be planning for a long journey? That's basically what he is asking. So basically things are adding up. The Prashna is basically adding up. So let us see to see the future, let's see the Drakana. In the Drakana, let's take the 4th house as Lagna. So Capricorn is the Lagna. The Drakana, Capricorn is the Lagna, right? In the Prashna chart, Drakana, and 4th house is Capricorn, right? 4 degree 43 minutes Capricorn. That is the Drakana. Right? Everybody get that? 4 degree 43 minutes Capricorn. So, who are in the Lagna? Venus and Mars. The 4th and 5th lords are in Lagna. That is good. 4th and 5th lord in Lagna.
4 degrees what? 4 degrees.
Huh?
Which Drakana are you using?
Parasara Drakana.
T3 lo 4 degree equation.
4 degree 43 minutes Libra.
That is the Lagna.
That is the Lagna.
4th house...
Not Aquarius, Capricorn. 4 degree 43 minutes Capricorn. So if you make a chart at record for 8:32 p.m. today, August 16, 2010, you will see that the Lagna in D3 using Parasara Drakana Are you
Lagna in D3 is
Libra? Yes. 4 degree 43 minutes Libra.
yeah.
Take the fourth house from there for mother. Libra is Seshu. Mother is Ketugan, fourth house. So 4 degree 43 minutes in Ketugan will be mother. Right? So taking that as the Lagna, how is it? One thing is 8th Lord Sun is in the 8th house, showing some suffering. 8th Lord Sun in the 8th house, showing some suffering. Lagna Lord Saturn is in the 9th house. Lagna Lord Saturn is in the 9th house. What does that show? It shows protection basically. Protection. Lagna is overall well-being. He is not in the 8th house or 6th house or something. So protected. The person will be well protected. So it shows protection. And what else? 6th Lord of disease, Mercury. He is in the 4th house with Rahu. Being with Rahu is not good, but there is no terrible combination. Basically he is okay. 6th Lord Mercury is not really throwing up any big combination. So overall, above all, Venus and Mars are blessing the Lagna. The 4th and 5th Lord are giving a Rajyoga. That shows blessings of Vishnu.
These are the actual problems in D1.
Huh?
Which showed us the problems.
Yeah, which showed basically, yeah. So they are blessing me. So my feeling is she will be fine. So based on the prashna, my feeling is that she will be fine. Now let's look at yours. Yeah. But however, let us see one more thing. Taking in the Drakana, taking Lagna as Libra only, looking from Ketu's perspective. Lagna contains Ketu. Ninth Lord Mercury of a long journey is in the 7th house of long journey. So Mercury, 9th Lord Mercury and Rahu, the Karaka for long travels, are together in the 7th house. So it seems like the person may travel anyway. His mother will be fine in the long run. There will not be a serious problem with the mother, but the person may travel. So probably there may be some more problem that comes up, you will go and everything will end up fine. That is basically combining everything, that is my take.
No, I may not go now because I was looking at my chart and
Okay.
that was not looking good.
Yeah. Not now. Basically, when you say Drakana, it may be for the next 1 year. Now let us see Seshu's chart. Seshu Subramanian. Seshu.
9/16/61.
One second. September?
16/61.
Oh, happy birthday soon. 61.
2:22 p.m.
2:22 p.m.
5:30.
5:30. Place Secunderabad, right?
Place Secunderabad.
Yeah, that's standard.
28:30 East 30 and 17 North 27.
Yeah. Okay. Let me save this. I'm saving it. Don't delete it again. Okay. The data for those who are living is September 16, 1961, 2:22 p.m., 5 hours 30 minutes east of GMT, IST, Secunderabad, India, 78 degrees 30 minutes east, 17 degrees 27 minutes north. Okay, Dhanu Lagna, of course. So, mother. How do we see mother?
I went to Dwalsa.
Dwadasam, excellent. What is the dasha running right now? Vinchotri dasha?
We see Chatri Samdasa, Vinchotri.
We can see Chadrasri Samdasha also. But let us just see Vinchotri. What is the dasha running? Venus dasha is running right now. And the Antardasha is Mercury. Venus, Mercury is running. And the Sukshma, Prachanta dasha is Mars. Venus, Mercury, Mars. Remember that. Venus, Mercury, Mars is running right now. Okay. Now, Dwadashamsa. How do you see mother in Dwadashamsa? You can see L4 or the 4th house, right? Okay. Let us just take the 4th house. If you take the 4th house, if you just take the 4th house in the Dwadashamsa, Sagittarius, right? If you take Sagittarius as Lagna, how is the planetary positions? Venus, Mercury, Mars. Can it give some problem, health problem? How is Venus Dasha overall? Venus is 6th Lord in the 6th house. Exactly. 1 second. Yeah, Venus is, you are right. Venus is the 6th Lord in the 6th house. Can he give health problems? Yes, but also he will make her fight. Some health problems to fight, to keep her busy, and she is fighting them. So that is what Venus has promises. And how about Mercury Antardasha? How is Mercury? He is also in the 6th house and he is 7th Lord. He is a Maraka. So again, two planets, Dasha Lord, Antardasha Lord, both are in the 6th house of disease for the mother. So some problem for the mother, some health problem is expected during these few years. Right? Now, the Pratyantardasha, specific Pratyantardasha where this happened. How is Mars? Pardon me? He is in the 7th house. Mars is in the 7th house. That is Manakaraka Sthana for Mars. Moreover, what houses does Mars own? What houses does Mars own? Tell me. He owns the 5th and 12th houses. Right. He owns the 5th and 12th houses. He is debilitated. So, 12th house is the house of hospitalization. So, there is a chance that she is hospitalized. Now, the thing is, tell me one thing. I don't know how serious the problem is, but always whenever you talk about an old person and talk about the health problem, we look at the longevity, just to be sure that there is longevity. Because if somebody is out of longevity, it has to be approached differently. So is Venus Dasha a Marka Dasha for her? Venus is in Manakaraka Sthana, but he is not a Maraka. He is the 6th Lord, in the 6th house. So is he a Maraka for mother? No. To be sure, look at the 4th from moon also. Instead of moon, 4th from Lagna, look at 4th from moon. If you take moon, he is in Pisces. The 4th from moon is Gemini. Now there, how is Venus placed? Well, he is not a Maraka again. You don't have to analyze in detail. He is not a Maraka. So either way, Venus is not a Maraka. So Venus Dasha is it likely to kill the person? Unlikely. How long is Venus Dasha? It is still it's getting over. 2013. So Venus Dasha is not a Marka Dasha, that is serious. How about Sun Dasha? How about Sun Dasha? Is it a Marka Dasha for mother? Unfortunately, it may be. Right? Why? From the 4th house Sagittarius, Sun is in the 7th house.
7th house?
8th house. If you look at the, 8th house, perfect. He is in the 8th house. A malefic in the 8th house. Even though he is the 9th Lord, a malefic in the 8th house can be a Marka. So, Sun is a Marka. Now take the 4th from moon. If you take the 4th from moon, that is Gemini, 18 degrees Gemini. From there, he is in the 2nd house. 3rd Lord, even a stronger Marka. 3rd Lord in the 2nd is a Marka. Moreover, he is a malefic. So, from the 4th from moon as well as 4th from Lagna, Sun is a Marka. So when Sun Dasha comes, 2013 to 2019, that is a critical Dasha for the mother. That is a Maraka period for the mother. So there is some chance during that time of death. But current Venus Dasha, there is no chance. There is no chance.
Is it not looked at from Rahu Ketu on the moon and affliction, their aspect on the 4th house?
Pardon me?
Is a Maraka period not looked from with Rahu Ketu aspect on the moon and on the 4th house?
4th house from moon?
4th house from Lagna, because I am looking at it for my mother.
Yeah.
So on the 4th house, Rahu Ketu have a stronger aspect.
Yeah.
And of course,
But why are you looking at Rahu Ketu?
because I think I looked at from separately from the.
I see. Okay. Then let us see, one second. Because you said I am looking at my mother, I am looking at the 4th house from Lagna. Let me tell you, even when you look at 4th house from moon, that is your mother only. You can look at the 4th house from moon as well as Lagna, depending on which is stronger. Okay, so 10th Lord is in the 10th house, so say to use Chaturthi Samrasya. Now the only thing is the 10th Lord actually in the 10th house or not is the debatable point, based on the definition of the houses. I just wanted to use the Visho 3. Yeah. So the thing is, based on Visho 3, Until 2013, there is absolutely no risk to her, but some suffering is there. Now let us look at short term, current year. First look at 2009. 2009 annual chart. Right, 2009 annual Tithi Pravesh chart. How is this? What is the chart looking like? Who is the Hora Lord? That year started on August 26. The Hora Lord is Jupiter. Oh, okay. Jupiter is the 7th Lord in the 8th house with Rahu, right? So there is a Gurjan, he is in debility. He is 7th Lord in the 8th house, he is a Maraka, he is in debility, he is giving Gurjandala Yoga. So overall, is this a great year? It's an average year, it's not really a great year. And moreover, what is the Dasha running right now? The Dasha running right now is Venus Dasha. Venus Dasha is running right now. Why was she hospitalized in the Venus Dasha? Can anybody tell me why Venus Dasha gave hospitalization? Point number 1. In the Rashi chart, Venus is the 12th Lord. Right? 12th house is the house of? Oh, sorry. Then all this is irrelevant. Jump to Dvalshamsha. D12. Jump to D12.
So Venus is 7th Lord and 6th house.
Yeah. Now, how much leeway do we have? We have enough, so we will take this chart as correct. Now, take the fourth house. If you take the fourth house, right? If you take the fourth house, why did Venus give hospitalization to the mother? Yeah, he is the 2nd and 7th Lord, but taking the 4th house as Lagna, he is the 4th and 11th Lord. He is the Badakesha, and he is in the 2nd house. So why did he give hospitalization? For hospitalization, there has to be some link with the 12th house, right? Why did he give hospitalization? Tell me. See what? Why did he give hospitalization? Should we look at 4th from moon? Is the 4th from Lagna?
From moon is the 12th Lord.
If you take the 4th from moon, he is not the 12th Lord. If you take the 4th from moon, he is the 2nd Lord, but he is in the 12th house with Ketu. So being in the 12th house with Ketu, he can give hospitalization. Right? So, if you look at houses based on the longitudes, moon is at 4 degree Gemini. So 4th house from moon is at 4 degree Virgo. But Venus is at 0 degree Virgo. So he is in the 12th house from 4th house. So for mother, he is showing hospitalization. But the thing is, if you take the 4th house, are there any Maraka combinations? See, Lagna Lord is in the 3rd house with Jupiter, 7th Lord, and Sun. And Mars is in the 12th house. So if you look at all the planetary influences, is there any danger during this year? Do you see any danger during this year for mother? Jupiter is the one who is the Hora Lord. He is not well placed. He is the 7th Lord, Maraka, in the 3rd house. Is he in the 3rd or 2nd house? He is in the 3rd house? Okay. So he is in the 3rd house. He is the 7th Lord in the 3rd house. 7th Lord in the 3rd, can he be a Maraka? Yes, he can be a Maraka. So, his period is over. But the thing is, he is the ruler of the year. So ruler of the year, even after his period is over, he can give. But the thing is, this year is almost over, so we don't have to worry about it. So, let's look at the next year. How is next year? Because it's very soon coming. If you look at his birthday, September 13th is his next birthday. Again, Hora Lord is Jupiter. He is the 8th and 11th Lord in the 11th house. So, Jupiter is 11th Lord in the 11th house. Actually, 11th Lord in the 10th house. So, some gains in the career. Several measures can be given, but let's skip everything, go to mother. Is this year a good year for mother or a bad year? Let's just look at it. So, let's see. Moon is in an inimical sign. Let's just look at Lagna. Taking Lagna, see, Moon is in an inimical sign. Moon sign Lord is in the 12th house, whereas Lagna sign Lord is in a Kendra from it. So, Lagna is stronger. So, look.
From Rashi or D12?
D12. In the D12, Lagna is Virgo. The 4th house of mother is Sagittarius, right? Sagittarius, what degree? 0 degree Virgo. So basically all planets, you can just look at the Rashi chart. Houses are very easy to find. So, who are in the Lagna? Gosh.
Lagna is very border, second.
Lagna is on the border. Okay. But because Keshu has done such rectification, let's assume that this is accurate. Another thing is, even if this is not accurate, you can look at it then also, but then also things are quite bad. So let us look at this. Now, Sagittarius Lagna. Lagna contains the 7th Lord Mercury, the Bhadra Lord, and Mars and Ketu, who are the 12th Lords in Lagna. So 12th Lord is in Lagna, that shows hospitalization. Sun and Rahu, they are affecting Lagna. There is a eclipse of Sun, the 9th Lord Sun, even though he is affecting Lagna and trying to protect, he is being restricted by Rahu. And Lagna Lord Jupiter is in the 6th house of fighting. Right? So overall, this is not a great year. This is a year when there can be several hospitalizations and there can be some sickness to fight. So this year doesn't look, based on the Pravesh chart, this year doesn't look too good for the mother. But the thing is, because if you look at the Vishwati Dasha, showing Dasha Lord and Antardasha Lord both are associated with the 6th house of disease. And the Pratyanta Dasha Lord is showing he is associated with the 12th house of hospitalization. So there is some problem, but we don't see any really terrible, like suddenly some big disease being diagnosed or some serious problem on there. We don't see anything like that. So there we see some moderate ongoing kind of problem for a few years and for another few years. And here we are seeing really terrible combination. So clubbing both together, what we can say is no life danger, nothing serious like suddenly somebody being diagnosed with cancer or something, nothing like that. Nothing like echo changing. But continuing problems. Whatever problems have been there for a year or two, they will definitely continue without much relief. And if you want to worship, professor your mother, what can you do? What can Sheshu do? If you look at the 4th house from Lagna.
No, to do that he will go back not to the go back.
Yeah, I went back to natal chart. You can also go back to natal chart. So in natal chart, Jupiter is the 4th house is owned by Jupiter, right?
Right.
But the thing is, not just who owns. Look at who aspects, etc. Who are aspecting 4th house? Who have aspect on the 4th house? In the D12, 4th house from Lagna is being aspected. Mercury has 90% aspect, Venus has 5% aspect, right? So Mercury has the biggest aspect. Now, the point, listen to me. From Moon, Mercury is the 4th lord in the 4th house. So, if you take Moon as the reference instead of Lagna, Mercury is the 4th lord in own sign. If you take Lagna, Mercury is not the 4th lord, but he is aspecting the 4th house by 90% aspect. So, if you combine both, Mercury is the key planet for mother, both from Lagna as well as Moon. So, Mercury is the key planet for well-being of the mother. So, for mother's health, worshipping Mercury is a good idea. So, if Keshu wants to worship, do some propitiation for mother's health, what he can do is either Bodhakavacham or Vishnu Sahasranam Stotram or something relating to Vishnu. Okay? So, with that I will end the class. All the best to both the parents, both the ailing parents of two of you. Om Sarvam Shri Krishnarpanamastu लोकाः समस्ताः सुखिनो भवन्तु, सर्वे धार्मिकजनाः सुखिनो भवन्तु, यावद्भूमण्डले सनातनधर्मो वर्धतु, विशेषतः भरतखण्डे। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः।